Hi everybody, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. We're at it again and we're gonna do some fun stuff. People, I got a haircut finally today, y'all. This is amazing. I'm probably gonna mess up the camera, but I wanted to show you, but it's still really long. But I got to the ends trimmed. I needed it really bad. So I'm gonna flip you guys down and I'm gonna also make sure, hey Cheryl, I'm gonna make sure I can see us on the laptop too. So here we go. Everybody hold tight. Okay, there we go. So now we're on the work surface and hopefully I can find us on the laptop so that I can see everybody's comments, which makes my day happy, happy, happy. So yay, here we go. Yes, on the laptop too. So here we go. Everybody, and I don't have to listen to myself, but okay. So I'm gonna make sure that you can see the two hostess codes. Hey Patsy Palmer, hey Lynn. Yay, I'm so glad everybody's here. Oh, good. Okay, so we're gonna make two cards with the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. If you're here and you want to give a shout out or whatever, I'm going to try to move a few things off my work surface. Hi, Kathy. Oh, yay. Good. And I'm just trying to make sure I kind of move the mount a little bit and I feel like I'm working really far away from me. So we're going to see how far away this has to be. So one of the things I wanted to get feedback on, I was asked to go horizontal so that there was more space, so that there's more like room, like left and right, but I kind of had gotten used to working in portrait mode. So if this works for you, please let me know. And if this isn't working for you, let me know. But I'm trying to figure out kind of where my boundaries are, and I'm having a really hard time doing that. So because the delay on the video is so much slower, like the delay is really bad. So I feel like, yes, we're over here. Okay, so I feel like we're like, here's the top and like maybe, yeah, there's the bottom. Okay, that's it. So it's from like here. All right, that's a really tight boundary. I'm gonna draw myself a little boundary. Okay. But you got a lot left and right too. It's fun. Okay. All right. It's just different for me and I'm learning. If you don't care, yeah, Kathy, that's great. Thank you for that feedback. Yeah, if you don't care if I go portrait or the other way, maybe I'll go back to portrait. Okay. So happy Wednesday, y'all, of week 99 of quarantine. We are on like renewed restricted whatever because the cases are going back up in Texas, and Austin's definitely one of the cities that's like hardcore masks and all of that. And so anyway, we're back on all of that, but we were still able to go get a haircut today, which is really exciting. I needed just a trim. My hair was looking really rough and long is fine, but it was rough. Marianne really needed a trim though, because she's trying to grow her hair out. I'm sure you guys have seen her on camera, and she got short hair. She donated all her hair last summer for Locks for Love, and she needed a trim really bad. So I guess tell me what self-care you've done in the past couple of weeks. Like, what is something that you're like, yes, now that quarantine is over, I need to do ABC. Hey Marlene, hey Crystal, hey Melissa. Oh, I'm so glad you're joining me. That's so great. All right, so the dies and the stamp set for Celebrate Sunflowers. So I will tell you, the dies are gorgeous and they're a lot of fun to play with, and I'll show you. We're gonna make a couple projects tonight. I don't think that you have to have them though. I've seen lots of cards that are using just the stamps, and I think they're fabulous. We did finally get word that the large Steam and Cut emboss machine will be available to customers like September 1. So that's really great. So we're really excited about that. I know my friend Stephanie, walking. Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear, Patsy. Like walking's been your self-care. So, so I have two hostess codes. I just want to remind you, I've got the June hostess code that I'm running all month. That's the one where you get the little enamel dots. this week's hostess code, you get all the ingredients to make this week's projects. You would need this stamp set. I mean, you wouldn't have to have it. I mean, you could make whatever card you want out of it. But anyway, so let's have a little bit of fun. What I did was I took, oh, and I was going to show you guys this. So I spent an entire night organizing my dies, and I got these pockets, these plastic pockets from Stampin' Storage, and then I used the label maker, and I got the magnetic sheets from them. These are the really thick magnetic sheets, and then these just fit in here, and I really needed to do this. Like, I felt compelled to do this. And so anyway, I literally just spent an entire night getting myself organized, but we're gonna need this and we're gonna need this. So what I decided to do was, I decided we would take 2 of the designs that I had gotten from other people that were part of my demonstrator swap that I did, my leader swap, and we would I wanted to model them. Like, I wanted to take them and kind of put my own spin on them. And so there's a couple things they did that I wanted to kind of improve on. And so, but I think these are lovely cards, and they're both fun fold cards, which is really, you know, I love that. I always think fun folds are fun, and I always have to see a fun fold in order to like be able to like kind of take it apart. So here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna work on this one first. I didn't love this up here, so we're gonna just put a sentiment on the inside. And the other thing I didn't love was that she wrapped this piece on the back so you could feel that. Like, when you held it, you could feel the fact that that flap was there. And we kind of want to give it an appearance like it's not even there. So here's what I'm working on. So I'm going to kind of show you step 1 of this process. So step 1 was I stamped the image, and I was playing around with like some no-line watercolor. It was actually a lot harder than I imagined. But I basically used an aqua painter and just painted a bunch of Mango Melody on it, and then I painted some Early Espresso in the middle. And so you can stamp the image in like crumb cake, and then I'll kind of lift that up so you can see. And then I just put this piece on top of it because it didn't look very good without it, and I felt like it needed some more definition. So this is also in Mango Melody. So I can show you how to do that. I think I did it on Shimmery, yeah, which was smart. So I'll grab a piece of Shimmery for that. Shimmery. So hopefully you know shimmery white cardstock is what we use when we're gonna add a lot of water to something. And we have new water painters that are fun. There's 3 sizes now, and I think they're even cheaper than they were before, if I'm not mistaken. They're like $11 for all 3. They're much longer of a barrel. I probably have an old one here that I can show you. Actually, I have a brand new set here that I can show you. So see how long and skinny they are? So a much longer, taller brush, which is interesting. There's also, I kind of felt like the old ones, they were like very similar in size. These guys, you can definitely tell between the bigger and the smaller one. This is very, very fine tipped. This is definitely the medium tip. I like that the lids snap on really well. Like, I think that's an improvement, and I feel like the water barrel is definitely bigger. And then this is the 3rd one, which is really interesting. It's like a fat fan. That's not a fan, because it's definitely not a fan, but it's a flat brush, and it's really wide. So I was playing around, like maybe making like stripes or things like that. So this is kind of one of my original, I don't know. I'll use that for something. But I ended up deciding I didn't want it for this card. So let me show you real quick what that looks like. So you get, you're gonna get your crumb cake or Sahara sand or something really, really light. And you're going to stamp off a couple times and then stamp on your paper. Nice. And so So you can see that that's really, really faint. And then I'm gonna get my Mango Melody and I'm gonna squish my Mango Melody. Okay, squishing did not do enough. So I'm gonna put a couple of drops in here. Okay, great. So Mango Melody, we're gonna squeeze some water on that. So the idea behind no line watercolor, right, is that you are supposed to like almost like make this like disappear. The issue is that this is a really tight surface to do this in. Like these petals are really tight, and I also generally don't have the patience to do this. No line watercolor is a very slow process, and I would probably spend the entire video, like all of tonight, like showing you how to do this. So the way that I recommend that you do it is you can kind of lay down some color here and there, right? You don't want these pieces to touch one another, because if you do, they kind of like bleed out. And then you can add some darkness here and there. And then you can come through and you can kind of add some more. So I'm not a fan of, like, I think no line watercolor is a really neat technique. I don't have the patience for it, and it's really not my thing. So this is sort of like a way to like add a lot of color, but if you're gonna cover it up with that dye, then this is a perfectly fine way to do it, because you're not having to be really precise, and you can have dark spots and light spots, and you can just add whatever. And so this will look like a hot mess for sure. And I can, you know, try to make it look a little bit more refined, especially on the tips. I'll probably want to like make that look a little sharper. Again, my patience level for this is probably slim on a good day, right? How many of you enjoy no line watercolor? Like, is anybody like, oh, this is my jam? I don't see any comments, so that's good. That means that you're probably more like me. So, I mean, this is definitely one way to go about this, right? Another way, though, just getting a wipey out. Normally I would have like a paper towel near me, but that's painful. Mango Melody is gonna probably stain the heck out of that little brush right there. The other way to do it would be to take your Mango Melody, right? Now let's sop that up, because that's gonna be a mess. The other way would just be to get your Mango Melody, right? Stamp it. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's actually really interesting. That's cool. I unevenly re-inked my Mango Melody, so there's like dark and light spots, which is kind of neat. So you could come in here and you could just pull, you know, a little bit of this in, right? And you could soften this, right? So it kind of depends on what you want to achieve. Mango Melody is one of those really saturated colors, and so this is something that, you know, is easier to do with Mango Melody than it would be to do with, you know, I don't know, any of the subtles or anything, right? It's a bright. So anytime you have a bright color and you want to stamp and then kind of pull, you know, pull the color in. I really like this. I like the way that this is looking. So this would be really fun to kind of, but again, I think I would use that outline dye, right, to bring some like definition to it all. And you'll definitely have to pull in some brown or something for the center of this, or else you're just gonna be you know, it would just be one homogeneous yellow blob, which wouldn't be very cool. So you've got a couple different ways that you can do this. You could also have just left that the way it was and, you know, cut it out. You can also fussy cut these. I fussy cut a sunflower the other day. I survived. I know, you know, some of you take much joy in that. And some of you don't have access to a die machine, and that's fine. I don't think that this set needs it. I think that, you know, it would be perfectly fine. I kind of like this. And then let's get early espresso, which is like definitely what we need for this. Ooh, yeah. All right, so we've got some early espresso. And get just the right color. And then again, I don't have the patience to like wait so that the inner circle dries before I start messing with the outer circle. As you can see, patience is a virtue, they say. I say not for me. I got too many places to be, too many things to do. Not tonight though, yeah. All right, so same thing, right? We can, however we want to do this, right? We can take this and we can put this on top. So I just wanted to show you a couple of fun ways to color those. You don't have to color them. You could just stamp them and go. But I just wanted to show you that. I'm using shimmery white, Rhonda. Good question. I prefer, so I like the watercolor paper, but the shimmery white seems to do a really good job holding up to the water, and it's a lot cheaper and you can get a lot more out of it. So I think the watercolor would probably be better for the no line. The only issue is you have to get a faint enough image that you don't see it, but a dark enough image that it will show up on the watercolor paper, and there's all that texture, you know? So anyway, I think that's dicey. All right, so let's put this card together, and I'm gonna give you guys some dimensions in case you wanna recreate this at home. And I've got my handy dandy ruler here. So this is a 8.5, I think 8 3/4, 8 3/4. 8 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then we just went ahead and scored it at 5.5, right? So it's gonna, you know, make that nice shape that we like, which is 5.5. It's 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then this was a piece. This was the extra piece, right? So you could get 2 card bases out of this and 1 of the bars. And so this bar, this flap that we're gonna make, is 2 1/4 by 8.5. Yeah, by 8.5. So 2 1/4, right? So that 2 1/4 plus this, right, equals our 11-inch, you know, piece of paper top to bottom, right? So instead of putting it on the back, on the outside, like the sample card was that I didn't like, I'm going to put it on the inside, and I'm going to push it all the way to the bottom, and then I'm just going to make sure that I have a nice piece of white on the inside to kind of hide those lines, right? So remember, we got 2 new adhesives, right? We got Stamp and Seal and Stamp and Seal Plus, and I told you I would kind of play with them first for like a week and see how I felt, and then I would let you know. So here is, here's where I let you know. So I think that Stamp and Seal Plus is great for things like 3D projects, right? And it lays down kind of a perforated piece. I do not like that the caps are like that. You could lose them and misplace them, and I don't know. I'm sure I'll lose them within a minute or two. But I will say that this makes a heck of a bond. So like if you are timid with your bond or your placement, then this probably is not, you know, not the adhesive for you. But I know this isn't going anywhere. Stamp and Seal is nice. It is, it sort of has like a, you know, it's got a bit of a stretch to it. Like you'll see, sometimes it'll do that where, but then other times it lifts off just fine. Make sure that with neither of them, you do that crazy check mark stuff that we've done before. Just do it and lift up. Do it and lift up, right? No check mark. And then you'll be fine. So I'm gonna make sure that this is in the right place. And then it's nice and centered, top and bottom, left and right. Lovely, lovely. I kind of don't want to see that white there, but it's okay. I'll survive. Then we're going to put, I got the cinnamon cider stripe side of the floral flowers for every season. I'm super excited by this. I think this combination is like really cheery. And I think that it is, it's perfect for fall. Like I'm really excited about this. So these pieces, the squares are 2 by 2. So they're just little squares. And then this is 3, I'm making sure. This one is, yep, 3 by 4. Yeah, 3 by 4. Okay, good. See, I haven't lost it. So I'm challenged. I wanted to use cinnamon cider. Like this was my goal. I really wanted to use cinnamon cider, but I think that looks really, really cute. I'm not gonna pop this up on dimensionals. I don't think it needs it. I'm just gonna make sure that I only put adhesive on like the top half of this, and I'm probably going to use the Seal Plus because I want to make sure that it sticks really, really good. And so nice, so cute. And then we're gonna stamp a sentiment on the inside. Let's celebrate you, or thanks a bunch. I think thanks a bunch. I can always use more thank you cards, right? So what kind of self-care have you guys been doing this week, last week, sometime recently? Let's use Mango Melody because it's pretty. Or we'll use Early Espresso. That'll be nice. Maybe Early Espresso. So we went and got a haircut today. That was our big self-care moment. And I had a dentist appointment on Monday. That was interesting. I think it went okay. So thanks a bunch. Nice. I like the fonts in this one. The fact that it has the mixed, you know, serifed and kind of cursive or print and cursive. You guys know I'm a sucker for that anytime. So I think that looks great. And I like the sunflower in the mango. I think that there are definitely, you know, there's definitely sunflowers that are lighter in color, but I think that this is more, you know, fall. So this kind of shows you the original card, right, in Bumblebee, with some Early Espresso and some cinnamon cider, and then kind of what I decided to do. I didn't layer the pieces. I could have. You know, some people feel like it looks more finished. You know, they just stamped it straight onto the Bumblebee. So you can see 2 different colors, right? 2 different styles. So haircut and hanging out with your grandchildren. Yay! Isn't the haircut nice? Kathy, I never realized how much I would appreciate a good haircut. God, I did not realize it. It just feels 1,000 times better. And I mean, my hairdresser is being very, very cautious. Which I appreciate. So, okay, so here's the other card that we're going to work on. I'm so glad. It's so cute. I know. Maybe I'm going to start meditating. Oh, that's a good deal, Lynn. Ooh, a massage. Ooh, Patsy, that sounds nice. So, awesome. I'm on live, yep. All right, so. Oh, so this is the card we're going to mimic, and I'm really not going to change much about it, honestly. But again, the person who made this card had the flap showing on the back, and I really thought that was the whole mystique behind these flap cards, was that you weren't supposed to have the flap showing. So we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to give you measurements, and if you want to replicate the card, you can. So a couple of things that we're going to need. So you're going to need your base, which I did use Bumblebee because it matches the paper. And that's just a one sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? So we've got that. And then we have got a piece that is 3, I'm just making sure, yeah, 3 by 8 1/2, right? So you're running it down. And then I trimmed just a 1/4 inch off one side. So I scored it in half at 4 1/4, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and I trimmed this off, right? So that it doesn't show. So I'm gonna adhere this on the inside, right? I don't want this showing. I want this to be the mystique and the mystery, right? On the inside. Used a little bit of the Dapper Denim. Nope. I said Dapper Denim, Sarah. Look at that. I made that card out of one sheet. No extra pieces attached. Oh, you've made that other one where you just, where you like trimmed it out. Yeah, I've seen that too. Oh yeah, Sarah, that's a good call. Yeah, I know, I said Dapper Denim. It's Misty Moonlight. We were just discussing this the other day, and I knew I was going to do that because I liked Dapper Denim. It was a nice color. All right. So we're going to mount this piece to this. And then we're going to mount. It's going to be really hard for me to like train myself to do this the right way. But if I'm careful, I will not mess this up. All right, and I think I'm gonna put this, you know, this is definitely an eyeball type situation. So I just kind of eyeballed where that was going. And then I'm going to add some adhesive here. So this card, I decided I would do all the layers, because I feel like that's kind of what makes it look really special, is that it has the Misty Moonlight here and the Misty Moonlight here and the Misty Moonlight here, and there's a lot of layers on this. Then I used the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and there's a set of like incremental rectangles. So we're gonna put that on the front of this. So we're gonna layer, hello, oh yes. Every once in a while I feel like it just needs like a little tug. And then there it is. So I don't know why. Excellent. So we're kind of building this card from the bottom up. And so cute. And then we're going to use a piece of the DSP that is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And I was tempted to use the sunflower side. I was. But the whole point of the blue is because this has the blue in the background. But what's neat is that this fits right inside that stitching. And so you can still see the stitching all the way around the edges, which I thought was really neat. Oh, look, I forgot the little bow. Well, boogers to boo. Well, we'll do something. Okay, now we're going to stamp the cute little baby sunflower, and we're gonna stamp it in, they definitely did Memento. They did the blends for sure. Oh, I'm sorry I froze. Hopefully I'm unfrozen now. All right, there, in Memento, beautiful. And then I am going to go ahead, while I've got my ink out, I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the inside. It says, congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. And I love this. And it fits just perfect right behind that little flap. And I think that's really cute right there. So I stamped that. We stamped this. And then we need a few fun blend colors. So part of the reason I love getting swaps, or I love looking on Pinterest, is figuring out, like, all right, how did they do that? Like, what colors did they use? You know, how did they get that look? And so, you know, part of what I'll do is I'll say, okay, you know, is that what they used for that? Yeah, looks like it. It looks like they might have used maybe these two for the inside. And then I'm pretty sure they used the Daffodil Delight, yeah, for that. And then it looks like maybe Shaded Spruce. So we'll see. All right, so let's do the yellow. So the yellow, we're gonna throw down some dark. So I like to put the dark wherever there's like the lines, and kind of a little bit more on the inside. And this is a pretty fast one to color because it's very tiny. So I use the stamped images as my guide for where to put the dark stuff. And then I take my light and I just kind of come back and rub it in. So I'll do little circles all over and lay down lots and lots of light color. By doing that, I use the alcohol and the blend markers, because these are alcohol markers, to push the color around and to get the look that I want, which is like a soft blend between the dark and the light. Now, sometimes I'll use the brush end. Most of the time I will. But in this case, these are tiny, tiny little petals. And there is no way that I would be able to keep myself in bounds with the brush end. So I'm going to use that end. All right, so there. So now you can see you get a nice gradient. You've got the dark, you've got the light, which is good. Now for the inside, I'm gonna make sure that I do some dark here, right? And then I'm gonna do some dark on the edges as well. I really like how she did that in the sample card. And then she came in and put some light in the middle. So the outside, I actually used the bronze, which is interesting. And the inside, so this is the bronze marker and this is the soft suede. So then that'll give you kind of that two-tone look for the inside, which is good. And then for Shaded Spruce, I think this is gonna be, oh, that's very bright. Maybe we'll get some mint macaron in here as well. What is that? That's olive. I don't want that. Is mint macaron? That's dark seafoam. Oh, maybe I don't have mint macaron. Ooh. Is that mint macaron? No. I don't have mint macaron. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the light Shaded Spruce, which is pretty dark. I'm gonna put a little bit in here because I'm trying to mimic that, right? And then I'm gonna use the soft seafoam. I don't know if I like that. No, I'm just gonna do the rest with this. I think if I had mint macaron blends, I think I would like that, but with the soft seafoam, I don't like it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so while I'm gone, tell me, since we talked about self-care, which is good, tell me which of the new stamp sets are your favorite so far. So you have to pick a stamp set. What would be the stamp set that you would get from the new catalog? And I will be right back because I'm going to die cut this. All right, let's see. Hey, Lindsay, I'm so excited you joined us. All right, so I asked everybody what their favorite stamp set is from the new catalog, and I can't wait to hear what it is. I do not feel like that is the right circle. That does not look good. I will be right back. Hold on. Keep at it. This one was number 2 to get. Oh, the sunflowers. Yeah, definitely. Let's see if I got the right circle. No, that's not it either. I wonder if she punched this. All right, I have tried 2 different size circle dies and I have not found the right thing. So if you ever have issues where you have a piece of paper and you want to put it, you know, into something, I would highly recommend that you use our Take a Pick tool, which has like a putty end on it. So I can actually use this to like kind of jimmy the paper around and hopefully get it where I want it. Or not. And I will give up on that. So that's funny. It's always interesting when you're trying to like copy someone. You're trying to figure out like the dimensions. Yeah, that's better. Closer. Okay. She used the 2-inch circle punch. So the die here is from the Layering Circles die, but she did not use, for the white, she used a 2-inch circle punch. And then for this, she definitely popped it up with dimensionals. So favorite stamp set from the new catalog: Forever Fern, Sunflowers, Tasteful Touches. I did like Tasteful Touches. That's a nice one. I've done a lot with it already, but I do like it. I tried to do the no line watercolor with it. That was a booker. That was actually probably what I was gonna go with, but originally. All right, this is super cute. I'm loving this. I think it needs to go like that. And we don't have the ribbon on here, which is sad, but we'll survive. And then just gonna pull that. Pull, I see it. There it is. Okay. Nice. Cute. Okay. And then I think what I'll do, I can probably, can I lift that back up? Oh, that was exciting. I can tie it around the whole piece and it'll still be super cute. So, scissors. So this is the Bumblebee gingham ribbon. Oh, it's so cute. And it ties the cutest little bows. I'm trying to see, it's a little bit smaller than some of our other ribbon, thickness wise. It's 1/4 inch. And a lot of our ribbons are 1/2 inch, and I find that they're a little thick. And so this 1/4 inch gingham is just adorable. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right there. And then I can set this on top. I think that'll be just fine. Oh yeah, super cute. And then we will trim the ribbon. Boop. Boop. Oh, so cute. So cute. Super sweet. Oh, and I flipped the ribbon. Haha, I'll have to fix that. but really sweet little card, right? So this shows you, I think, hopefully, that the sunflowers are fun. They're fun to play with. They're fun to color. You can stamp them by themselves. You can die cut them. You can use the crazy layering dies. You could fussy cut them. You can, you know, color them with blends, with watercolor pencils. I have a few other samples from other demonstrator friends, and I'll show you those, because then you can see, sorry, I didn't bone fold any of this, and it definitely is popping up. That's a fun one though. Here's a few more. This is the one that my friend Jill designed. I thought that one was really pretty. You can also just use the paper and the stamp and make a really cute card. I thought that one was really cute. This one was fun because she stamped it a whole bunch of times in the background and then just used the die on the front and then the flowers. I thought that was really neat as well. So this can obviously lend itself to lots and lots of looks, and I like that, you know, you could use other floral papers just with the sentiments. You could, you know, do a lot of die cutting, or you could do none, right? And you have a lot of different ways to go. So for this week, if you want to get these projects, you can, and you would use the hostess code TMG, TMH6C. If you want to get the enamel dots from this, and I think like Lindsay, I know you've already placed an order. I know there's quite a few people who have already placed an order this month. Then you would use the June hostess code V7YDF6DS, and I'll be ordering those at the end of the month once they come back in stock, because they're not in stock right now. And then I'll be sending those out when I get them at the beginning of July, which is really exciting. So yeah, Frozen. Oh, sadness. Hopefully I'm unfrozen. But I will flip you guys up, and then you can see, and everybody wants to see how much hair I cut. I mean, she cut a good bit. I mean, she cut, let's see, I always have a hard time finding the video camera, but I mean, you know, it's still long, but it's significantly shorter than it was before. So it's great to see you all. It's great to chat. Please remember, I have my Whale Done class is a separate hostess code. It's on the last Monday of the month. It will be on Zoom. I've had a couple people RSVP already. So you have two choices. You can either pay $15 and I'll mail you all the supplies for that class, or you can use the Whale Done hostess code, and I will make sure to put it down below in a little bit. And you'll be sent that class for free if you use the Whale Done hostess code. So I'll put that down below, but we're gonna make some really fun projects. I've planned a mini paper pumpkin box and 3 cards, and so it's gonna be fun. I'm really jazzed. So you'll get 3 cards and a paper pumpkin box that we're gonna decorate, one of the mini ones, and I'll show you some tips and tricks on that. So I started playing with them even more, so I'm really excited. So, all right, bye for now. I'll see y'all later. Have a wonderful night. Bye.